What's going on, everybody? I was curious, what do you like to listen to while you paint? Maybe it's videos like mine with some rants, maybe it's strategy, maybe it is a podcast, general Warhammer news, maybe it's totally unrelated, like a good podcast, a comedy podcast, maybe like watching TV or movie or sports. I've been personally getting into audiobooks. I'm trying to massively uh, increase my education, I guess, of a whole bunch of things while I paint. So I'm actively practicing my artwork, and then I am trying to absorb in audiobooks. And one I was just listening to the other day, which I never heard or read before, but it was the Notes on Art and Life by Leonardo Da Vinci. And this is a audiobook composed of notes from his notebooks, and then they are read out loud. And it is awesome. If you like, I've always been a fan of just searching YouTube for, just type in Renaissance documentary or, Renaissance artist documentary, old master documentary, anything like that. There's all kinds of good shows from BBC America or whatever. All kinds of good uploads of documentaries on famous artists, famous paintings, all kinds of cool stuff. So if you are more into the art side of painting miniatures or just art in general, I highly recommend Leonardo da Vinci anything. He is my personal favorite human being who ever walked the planet. Not my favorite artist, but my favorite human being. And I just wanted to do a quick video to see what you guys like listening to. I got some stuff I've been working on here. I went to Goodwill. This is a cup, but I went to Goodwill and I am basically cleaning up and zenithal priming items I found at Goodwill. I'll probably make a video on this, but it's been they're over there, but I'll show you in the next one or soon. This is stuff I'm going to be using in a Kickstarter campaign for kind of background marketing for cool images for a website that I'm working on. So hopefully you guys will be somewhat interested in that when that comes out. If not, it's cool. Maybe it's not for you. And for some of you, it won't be for you, but we're going to get into that later. So my favorite thing ever in the notes and notebooks of Leonardo da Vinci, and I have like books of all his sketches and drawings from his notebooks, and maybe some of them have been translated, but so if you know, Leonardo da Vinci used to write upside down and backwards, and he spoke Italian. So it's very hard to read his notebooks. But he would write in a mirror, upside down, and then backwards, using a mirror. And that would protect his, notes from being copied somewhat. I don't know. It was something he did, though. And I'm like 99% sure about that. Side note, I also went to the house where Leonardo da Vinci was born in Italy, and it is awesome, and there's some original drawings on the walls, like not on the wall but hung up on the wall, and you get to sign a guest book, and it's super cool. And I don't really know where my little pamphlet is that I got from there, but I still have it somewhere. It's probably in my safe, if I had a safe. It's probably in like my bottom drawer, since I don't own that many clothes anymore. It's a kind of a catch-all. But so anyway, in his notes, he takes notes on like arguments maybe he's had or responses to people. Like if somebody's criticizing, painting is like a lazy man's poem or whatever, then he's like, well, a poem's like a deaf man's painting or a blind man's painting or whatever it is. I can't remember. But he writes like these notes that he's like comebacks and stuff. or just maybe like little arguments or conversations he's had, and it's super funny because he's like a madman genius. But so anyway, he takes a lot of notes on the sun, and if you think about it, you have never ever thought about the sun ever, probably, unless you watch like a Neil deGrasse Tyson or something. And even then, it's probably pretty brief. Whereas this gentleman in the Renaissance, Leonardo da Vinci, took notes on it. He studied it, he thought about it, and he took notes on it. And there's a specific note about it where it's talking about people who believe the sun is cold or not hot because instead of it being the color of fire, it is more pale and clear in color. And he's writing about this in his notebook. His response, which he also then writes underneath that in his notebook, he's like, well, you could say to them, kind of thing. This isn't word for word, but it's basically, this is what they're saying, and then your response could be, and it is, the sun is hot because when molten bronze is at its hottest, it is white and pale in color, and only when it cools down does it become orange and red color like fire, and before it cools all the way down back to a solid. So not only does he know from this that the sun is hot, but he also comes to the conclusion that it's as hot or hotter than molten bronze. Whereas people in the exact same time think the sun is cold because it's not orange. So cool. He's the best. You can definitely find some good stuff about him. What's that? There's that shroud with like Jesus's face on it. And there's a really good documentary on how Leonardo da Vinci more or less made that, even though it's considered a holy relic, and if you're religious you probably are offended by what I just said. But there's a really good documentary on how that holy artifact was discovered, and happened to be exactly the time by a family that Leonardo da Vinci was, I guess, staying with, and it brought them, like to power because of it. So super good. I can't remember what that one's called. I watched it a long time ago. But anyway, who's your favorite artist? What are you watching on YouTube? What are you searching for? What are you listening to? Currently I've been I just started the Robert Greene book Mastery, and the beginning of it includes stuff about Leonardo da Vinci and how he took notes and taught himself how to draw and everything. So super cool so far. I'm only like half an hour into the audiobook. It looks like it's about 8 hours. And a little side note, if you're listening to audiobooks on YouTube, check the speed at 1.5, because they're about 8 hours long or so. But if you put the speed at 1.5 and it still sounds okay, or 1.25, usually 2 times speed will be too much. But if it sounds okay at 1.5, you can listen to an 8-hour book in like 6 hours or whatever. So just a little tip for you. Sometimes the speaker speaks really slow, and he's like, and then he wrote, I shall be the #1 artist in the world. And then you turn it to 1.5 and it's like, and then he wrote, I shall be the #1 artist in the world. Right? So just a tip on if you're doing audiobooks on YouTube. Check 1.5 speed. Sometimes it's pretty good to, speed it up. And we're about 10 minutes in. Last thing, I signed up for the Amazon affiliate program. You've noticed probably I have a lot of eBay affiliate links in my videos, and those are, it's only just stuff I'm talking about or stuff I recommend. I'm not just like, hey, Mercedes Benz or whatever. But so if you see any links in my videos, especially the Amazon ones, I'm trying that out because I think more people use, well, for sure more people use Amazon than eBay. But I haven't really had any success with the eBay links. I got like one sale of 55 cents or something I made, which I don't know how that's even getting paid to me. I think you got to earn like a certain amount before they'll even pay you. So we're going to switch over to Amazon. Maybe do both in the future. But right now I'm going to try and focus on Amazon, which means a lot of these products, like, you know, maybe like your airbrush thinner, your wet palette, your wooden spools, maybe your, you know, things like your favorite beautiful Escoda Spanish paintbrushes, little pipettes, all these things we'll be able to get real cheap on Amazon. And a lot of times they're like shipped in a day or less. So that's pretty cool. Downside is if you wanted like a army bundle or something, you know, that's better to go to eBay for that. If you want to, you know, get into a new army or something, you're going to want to go to eBay. So I'll still try to include links, or when I do videos about that, include those links to eBay for like sales or deals on that. And then for maybe more of the general stuff, we'll do Amazon links. And this is all in the description below. These links will be. And things like, you know, this FW Dollarani ink, super good. Shoot through the airbrush really nice. Good for glazing. Good for all kinds of intense colors. Liquitex ink, super good. These are water-based acrylic inks from, you know, reputable artist-grade acrylic brands. Those you'll be able to find on like an Amazon. Airbrushes, compressors, all that too. And that's about all we got for right now. So, who's your favorite artist who ever lived? Mine's William Bouguereau. Who's your favorite person who ever lived? Mine's Leonardo Da Vinci. And who's your favorite musician who ever lived? Mine is Curtis Mayfield. So let's play that game. Leave it in the comments below. We're over 300 subscribers. We'll be doing a giveaway probably tomorrow. We'll start it for a whole week, Friday to Friday, or Sunday to Sunday, something like that. So please subscribe, and talk to you soon.